Welcome back. Slack is up sharply after it acquires the corporate directory startup Rimeto. Now, we're all familiar with Slack. I have to say I'm not as familiar as most, but it does seem to be the backbone these days of the way many companies and groups and organizations not only operate, but also operate between each other. Having Rimeto is part of an expansion plan that allows a greater integration into enterprise directory software. With me is Slack CEO Stewart Butterfield, who joins me from San Francisco. Now, this is first of all, I'm fascinated by all companies and businesses that are managing to do transactions during coronavirus times. It's a touchstone, isn't it, that life goes on and we manage to get these things done somehow.
Yeah, it's getting transactions like this done. A couple months ago, we did a convertible debt offering, which everything was handled in an offline world, the roadshow, the working with the bankers. Of course, little plug for Slack. We did that with shared channels using the Slack Connect feature. And we also use that extensively with this deal. But I think it's, pulling back a bit, it's indicative of a lot of change. And we'll see which kind of the current situation of work turns out to be permanent. But there's no question that it's an enormous change. There are going to be some aspects of this that are permanent. And when there's a real profound change, there's an opportunity to imagine new possibilities. I always like the phrase, never waste a crisis. So I think, that's true for us as a company, as a business, as a culture. But I think it's also true for customers all over the place. And when I talk to other CEOs and I talk to customers, one of the biggest challenges I hear about right now is feeling connected, is that kind of the social ties, the culture, and what we miss when we don't have physical co-location. And that's what Rimeto is designed to solve.
And one thing I'm interested about Rimeto is that you're keeping it separate. Well, you're integrating it, obviously, but you're also keeping it separate as its own entity for its own customers and the like. And I'm wondering if that speaks more to the way Slack has grown up and is matured, that you now can have many strings to your bow. They don't all have to fold into Slack itself, the main channel.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And to be honest, this was actually a late realization in the process. We had already kind of made the agreement. We were in the process of closing the deal when we realized the world needs this right now. We should really continue to sell it independently. We have 122,000 customers, Slack does, and they include some of the biggest companies in the world, like Amazon. And they also include tens of thousands of small businesses all over the place. But that's still a minority of businesses. And there's more people who I think will benefit from Rimeto than currently use Slack, though, of course, in the future, we hope they use both.
Now, you will be living down for years the fact you had to use Zoom recently in a meeting, and you won't escape that for some time. But I'm certainly not one to offer any schadenfreude in any way or form. But I do wonder, are we moving to a scenario where users need multiple platforms? They need, and which might not be the best news for you, but you need multiple platforms for different purposes at different moments in one's work and personal life. I always remember, forget the name dropping, Bill Gates saying in an interview once, one company won't be able to do it all. Do you subscribe to that?
Absolutely. And in fact, so first of all, Zoom is a great partner of ours. We're a customer of Zoom and we use it all the time internally. But one of the theses on which this company was founded was that the number of software product categories is going to continue to proliferate. There's 1,000 cloud services in use for the average large American enterprise now. We're a company of 2,200 employees that buy software from 450 different vendors. So Slack aims to be kind of a lightweight fabric for systems integration. So that is something that we're strategically oriented towards. Not bad news for us at all. I think Slack is very well used inside of our customer companies. People spend hours a day, but we don't need to have a monopoly on their time. We want them to use the best systems. What we do want to see, and Rimeto I think will be a step forward for this, is more interoperability. Because given that you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of different software products in use across the company. They need to work together.
Good to see you, sir. Thank you, and joining us, I much appreciated Stewart Butterfield joining
Thank you so much for having
me in San Francisco with an extraordinarily gorgeous view from behind him. So thank you. Now, London.